Welcome to Men's Vitality After 60. Do you remember the last time you woke up with clear eyes, a sharp mind, and a peaceful heart? If that feeling seems far away, don't worry. Here we don't promise magic wands, we share science-based roadmaps. In today's video, you'll discover a 30 to 100 day system to reclaim your energy. And yes, even how something as simple as a clove from your kitchen can serve as a spark for lasting change. Stay with us, because this could be the reset your body and mind have been waiting for. When people come to me saying, "Doctor, I feel like my energy is gone, like I've wasted my best years," my first response is simple. Your energy has not disappeared, it has only been misdirected. Think of it like water flowing through a pipe. If the pipe has cracks and leaks, the water is still there, but it isn't reaching the places it needs to go. The same is true for your physical and mental energy. One, energy isn't lost, it's been rerouted. In the brain, when you're exposed repeatedly to high stimulation activities, whether it's endless scrolling, pornography, or highly addictive games, your dopamine system goes into overdrive. Each time you get a spike of pleasure chemicals, followed by a sharp drop. The brain adapts by demanding more stimulation to reach the same level of satisfaction. Over time, this reward pathway becomes desensitized, almost numb. The result, your baseline motivation falls. Things that once felt meaningful, like reading, exercising, or even simple social connection, no longer give the same sense of reward. It's not because you've become lazy, it's because your brain's wiring has been hijacked. In the body, pair that with modern lifestyle stressors, too little sleep, processed food loaded with sugar and refined fats, late-night snacking. The body develops insulin resistance, low-grade inflammation, and poor metabolic control. That's why you may feel brain fog, constant fatigue, or difficulty focusing. This isn't simply a matter of willpower. Your cells are literally struggling to regulate energy properly. Imagine trying to drive a car with sludge in the fuel line. The engine works, but it sputters and stalls. In the psyche, then comes the psychological toll. People often fall into cycles of self-blame and guilt. They make promises to stop certain habits, slip once, and conclude they are failures. That guilt feeds more shame, which ironically drives the very behaviors they want to escape. It's a vicious loop. Here's the truth: you are not broken. Your system, brain, body, and behavior has been nudged off balance, and what is off balance can be reset. 2. Brahmacharya in the language of behavioral medicine. Now let's talk about a concept often framed in spiritual or cultural terms: brahmacharya. When translated into the language of behavioral science, it means learning to manage stimulation and retrain the brain's reward circuits. Instead of constantly chasing high-intensity, fast-burn pleasures, you start cultivating slow-burn, deeper rewards. Think of intellectual growth, physical strength, genuine relationships, or mastery of a skill. These don't flood you with dopamine all at once. Instead, they build a steady, sustainable sense of satisfaction. Why does the 30 to 100 day window matter? Neuroscience gives us the answer. That's roughly how long it takes for dopamine receptors to reset and for neuroplastic changes, the brain's ability to rewire itself, to begin stabilizing. In plain words, your brain needs about a month to stop craving the old quick highs, and a few months more to genuinely enjoy the new, healthier forms of reward. This is why people who commit to even 30 days of structured change often report a surprising shift. Clearer eyes, sharper focus, more stable mood. By 60-90 days, they begin to rediscover joy in ordinary things: good food, real conversation, or a quiet evening walk. What feels like discipline at first gradually transforms into a new normal, one that is easier to maintain than you imagine right now. The message I want you to hear is simple: your biology is not your enemy. With the right strategy, your brain and body will support your recovery. Energy is never truly gone. It just needs to be redirected back into the channels where it was meant to flow. Now that we've laid the groundwork of how energy can be misrouted and how the brain can relearn healthier reward systems, let's look at a simple but powerful tool that can serve as a cue, not a cure. I'm talking about the humble clove, known in botany as Syzygium aromaticum. What clove actually is and what it is not. Clove contains a compound called eugenol, which gives it that warm, slightly spicy aroma and its recognizable numbing quality. Eugenol has been studied for its antioxidant and mild anesthetic effects. When you hold a clove in your mouth, you feel a soothing warmth in your throat, a slight tingle, and even a calming effect. But let me be clear, clove is not a magic pill. It will not instantly restore lost vitality or supercharge sexual energy. If someone markets it that way, they are overselling. Its real value lies in how we can use it strategically as part of a behavioral reset. The practical role of Clove. 1. A behavioral anchor. When an urge or craving hits, whether to pick up your phone, binge late-night videos, or relapse into an old habit, you need an interruption, something to break the automatic chain. Holding a single clove between your teeth for 10 to 20 minutes does exactly that. The sharp, warming taste, combined with the act of slowly chewing, creates a sensory cue. This interrupts the loop and buys you time to re-engage your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes thoughtful decisions. It's not the clove itself that fixes the habit, it's the pause it creates. 2. Oral and digestive support. Clove has mild antimicrobial effects and helps freshen breath. After meals, holding one in the mouth can reduce lingering odors and leave a subtle sense of warmth in the stomach. For people trying to cut late-night snacking, this warm aftertaste can blunt the desire to keep eating. 3. Safety boundaries. Like any botanical, clove must be used with respect. Excessive intake can irritate the stomach or, in rare cases, thin the blood. That's why people with stomach ulcers, bleeding disorders, or those on anticoagulants should avoid heavy use. Pregnant and breastfeeding women should check with their physician before trying it. Used sparingly, 2 to 3 cloves a day at most. It is safe for most healthy adults. Suggested use. Think of it as a spark, not the fire. When an urge strikes, place 1 clove in your mouth. While it releases its aroma, practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. This pairs the sensory cue of the clove with a physiologic calming response. After dinner. 30-60 minutes later, a single clove can help calm cravings for late-night sweets or snacks, provided it doesn't upset your stomach. Dosage limit: no more than 2-3 cloves daily. More is not better. In fact, overuse can cause irritation. A real-world scene. Picture this: it's 11:30 p.m. in a noisy dorm room. You've just finished homework, but your phone is right there, tempting you to scroll instead of giving in. You set the phone on the desk across the room. You place a clove in your mouth, walk to the sink to splash cold water on your face, and drop down for 20 quick squats. By the time you return to your chair, 2 or 3 minutes have passed. That restless urge, reduced by half, maybe more. You've created a break in the loop, and now you have a chance to choose differently. The bigger picture. Clove, then, is not the hero of the story. It is the spark that lights the match. The real fire comes from building new systems, new routines that replace the old. In behavioral medicine, we often talk about keystone habits, small actions that trigger cascades of positive change. Clove can serve as one such keystone, a reminder that you are in charge of your response. But remember, if you rely only on the clove, you'll eventually be disappointed. It cannot rewire your brain circuits or rebuild your body on its own. It simply gives you a few precious seconds to step back, breathe, and make a better choice. The real transformation comes when you use those seconds to reinforce healthier patterns, what I like to call the 5 bricks of long-term energy rebuilding. And that's where we'll go next. Clove may give you a spark, but you need a solid structure to keep the fire alive. In medicine and behavioral science, we know that quick wins are fragile unless they are protected by systems. I like to frame this in 2 parts: 3 barriers that keep destructive impulses at bay, and 5 bricks that lay a strong foundation for new growth. The 3 barriers: protection from a distance. 1. Digital dopamine hygiene. Your devices are designed to steal attention. Every color, every notification, every algorithm is built to pull dopamine from your brain, to fight back. You don't need superhuman willpower, you need a cleaner environment. Try switching your phone to grayscale at night. When everything looks dull, the craving to scroll weakens. Remove high-stimulation apps from your home screen, don't let them be a single tap away. And remember the 2 devices, 2 rooms rule. Let your phone charge in another room at night, and keep your study or work device limited to a short whitelist of apps. By separating spaces and functions, you stop endless temptation before it even starts. 2. Circadian rhythm alignment. Your brain's reward system is tied to your body clock. Morning sunlight resets your circadian rhythm. Just 5 to 10 minutes of natural light can lift mood and sharpen focus. After 9:30 p.m., dim your environment. Use warm, low lighting to signal your brain that it's time to wind down. Commit to a consistent bedtime and wake-up schedule. Aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Without circadian stability, no habit lasts. Sleep is not optional, it's the foundation of impulse control and metabolic balance. 3. Environment and accountability. Humans are wired for social influence. A single trusted friend who expects a daily check-in message can dramatically increase your follow-through. I call this the nightly report. Just one line at the end of the day saying, "Kept my plan or slipped, will reset tomorrow." Pair that with an activity schedule in the danger hours between 7:30 and 10:00 p.m. When boredom hits, relapse risk rises. So keep your hands busy. Cook dinner, reorganize your desk, lift weights at home. Empty evenings are your enemy, structure is your shield. Be the 5 bricks building from the ground up. 1. A slow breakfast, protein before sugar. Start your day with 25-35 grams of protein, eggs, beans, soy or Greek yogurt, plus fiber and minimal simple sugars. A stable morning meal prevents the blood sugar crashes that often drive late afternoon cravings. In clinical practice, patients who adopt this habit report fewer binge urges by evening. 2. The 20-minute sweat session. Exercise is more than fitness, it's dopamine repair. The sweet spot is late afternoon around 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. when stress peaks. A short circuit is enough. 5 minutes jump rope, 10 minutes body weight exercises like squats, push-ups, and planks, then 5 minutes stretching. This routine floods your system with endorphins, clears mental fog, and lowers the need for artificial stimulation later in the night. 3. A warm belly, cool mind dinner. Evening meals should ground you, not overstimulate you. Choose moderate carbs like sweet potatoes or brown rice, pair them with light protein and plenty of vegetables. Use warming spices, ginger, cinnamon, star anise. Even a finely chopped clove or two to satisfy the senses without overloading the system. What to avoid? Deep-fried foods, overly spicy dishes, and caffeine after 4 p.m. They may excite you in the short term but sabotage sleep and recovery. 4. The 15-minute nightly closure ritual. End your day with intention. Write 5 short lines, 1 disciplined act you kept, 1 small mistake, 1 thing you're grateful for, 1 person you'll thank tomorrow, and 1 10-minute plan for the morning. Then practice 2 minutes of 4-7-8 breathing. If cravings linger, place a clove in your mouth to signal closure. This ritual is less about the words and more about telling your brain, the day is complete, I'm in control. 5. The 30 to 100 day progression rule. Think of change as stages. Days 110, clean your environment, protect your sleep, use clove as a circuit breaker. Days 11-30, anchor your workout routine, track cravings and what you did in response. Days 31-60, add a skill building habit, read 10 pages daily or learn a new language. This deep reward rewires your dopamine system. Days 61-100. Raise physical goals, push-ups from 5 to 20 or plan a mountain hike or cycling trip as a delayed reward. These milestones prove to your brain that discipline pays dividends. The 3 barriers stop energy from leaking out and the 5 bricks give energy a structure to flow into. Together they create the framework for real transformation. And once that framework is in place, the small spark, whether it's a clove, a breath, or a friend's text, is enough to ignite lasting change. To make this framework real, let me share 3 composite stories based on patterns I've seen in patients and students. These are not miracles. They're examples of ordinary people who made small, consistent changes and the results followed. 1. Michael, 20 years old, dorm room, 5th floor. Michael was surviving on 2 to 5 hours of sleep a night, living off instant noodles, and hooked on short-form videos. His mind felt scattered, his body exhausted. For 30 days, he committed to a simple reset, moving his phone charger to the common lounge, setting a real alarm clock, and every time the urge hit, he'd place a clove in his mouth, drop for 20 squats, and splash his face with cold water. Breakfast became 2 eggs and a piece of fruit. Dinner, soup with beans and vegetables. By week 3, he reported, "My head doesn't feel as heavy, and nights don't feel so restless." By week 4, he noticed his eyes looked clearer in the mirror, and for the first time in years, he could sit and study for 40 focused minutes straight. 2. Thomas, 28 years old, sales professional. Thomas lived under the constant pressure of monthly sales quotas. Evenings meant stress, scrolling, and late nights. His plan was small but strategic. After dinner, he walked for 10 minutes and held a plank for 5. If the craving to scroll came, he'd chew on a clove instead. Each night he wrote down 3 small wins, no matter how minor. After 60 days, he was 3 kilograms lighter, sleeping through the night, and even when he slipped, he bounced back the next day without self-punishment. The difference wasn't perfection, it was resilience. 3. Linda, 33 years old, software engineer. Linda's challenge wasn't deadlines, but loneliness. She filled the void with endless entertainment and wound up drained. Her solution was connection. She joined a weekend running group and met a book club for Sunday coffee. For her, the Clove became a cue. Place one in her mouth, close the entertainment tab, and open her coding project instead. After 100 days, she had finished a personal app she dreamed about, and her work performance reviews showed a 15% boost. The common thread: none of them changed their lives because of a spice. They changed their lives because they built a system: sleep, food, movement, environment, accountability. And yes, the humble Clove, used as a simple reset button. At this point, it's worth clearing up a few common questions. Does Clove supercharge vitality overnight? Absolutely not. Clove is not a miracle drug. What it can do is help you calm the nervous system, serve as a behavioral anchor, freshen your breath, and provide a gentle warming effect on digestion. But it will never replace the fundamentals: quality sleep, balanced nutrition, and consistent exercise. Think of Clove as a supportive tool, not the foundation itself. You should be cautious with Clove. Anyone with a history of stomach ulcers or significant acid reflux should avoid regular use, since the spice can irritate the lining. People with bleeding disorders or those on anticoagulant medication must also steer clear, because Clove can thin the blood. And of course, if you have a spice allergy or if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, always check with your physician before experimenting. Safety first. What if you slip one day? This is where most people fail, not because they relapse, but because they judge themselves too harshly afterward. My rule is the 24-hour reset. If you slip, acknowledge it, write down one line: I slipped because, and identify the trigger. Then add one more barrier to protect yourself tomorrow. Maybe that means charging your phone farther away, or scheduling an evening walk at the hour you usually get restless. The key is quick recovery, not perfection. How do you know you're making progress? Measure it simply. Keep a daily log with just 4 lines: hours of sleep. Morning energy, scale 0-10. Evening craving, scale 0-10. Minutes of exercise. And every 10 days, take a photo of your face in the same lighting. The camera will often capture subtle improvements before your own eyes do: clearer skin, brighter gaze, less tension in your expression. These small, objective markers keep motivation alive when the journey feels invisible. Now let's bring the pieces together into daily practice. Structure is what turns intention into habit, and 3 pillars: nutrition, movement, and sleep, are where most people either thrive or fail. 1. A 7-day meal framework, simplified. Breakfast sets the tone. Aim for eggs, beans, or tofu paired with vegetables and 1 low-sugar fruit. Skip liquid sugar, no sodas, no bubble tea. At lunch, keep your carbs slow and steady. Rice, quinoa, or sweet potatoes, balanced with lean proteins such as fish, chicken, or tofu, plus 2 full handfuls of vegetables. Dinner should be light and warming. A vegetable soup with ginger, spices like cinnamon or star anise, and if you tolerate it, a pinch of finely chopped clove. Hydration is equally critical. About 30-35 milliliters per kilogram of body weight each day. Sip steadily, especially during long hours in front of screens. And remember, caffeine belongs to the first half of the day. Cut it off before 2 p.m. so it doesn't steal your sleep. 2. Movement schedule. Your body needs both sweat and steps. On weekdays, carve out 20-30 minutes for a real sweat session, anything that raises your heart rate. Add 5,000 steps throughout the day. On weekends, expand the horizon, 60-90 minutes outdoors. Whether it's a hike, a group run, or a pickup game of basketball, combine sunlight with social contact. That pairing of natural light and human connection is medicine in itself. 3. Sleep hygiene. Here's where most young adults fail, and it costs them everything. An hour before bed, dim the lights to a warm glow, shut down heavy work, and take a quick warm shower. Keep the phone outside the bedroom, it doesn't belong near your pillow. End the night with a 5-minute ritual. Practice 4-7-8 breathing. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. And if the urge to snack or scroll creeps back, place a clove in your mouth as a signal: this day is done. These simple anchors, structured meals, regular sweat, disciplined sleep, are not glamorous, but in every patient I've worked with, they are the difference between relapse and recovery. A structured plan works best when broken into phases. Your brain and body adapt step by step, not all at once. Think of it as progressive rehabilitation for your reward system. Days 110, this is the detox stage. Remove high dopamine apps from your home screen so they're no longer one tap away. Prioritize restorative sleep, but don't oversleep. 9 hours should be the ceiling, otherwise you risk feeling sluggish. Add a daily 15-20 minute workout in the late afternoon to stabilize energy. And when the wave of craving hits, use your Clove anchor. Hold one in your mouth while doing a reset routine like squats or a cold splash of water. These first 10 days are about proving to yourself that you can interrupt the loop. Days 11-30, now you're building rhythm. Lock in a high-protein breakfast so your blood sugar doesn't betray you later in the day. Plan your evenings to stay busy. No blank space after 7:30 p.m. Each night, send a one-line check-in to your accountability partner. At the end of day 30, reward yourself with something that reinforces health and growth. A long bike ride, a hike, or a new book. This delayed reward tells your brain that patience pays off. Days 31-60, here comes expansion. Add a skill-building habit, such as reading 10 pages daily or practicing a language. Retake a photo of your face under the same lighting and rate your morning energy on a 0-10 scale. You'll often notice progress that mirrors how you feel inside. If you slip, don't spiral. Instead, install another barrier. Set your Wi-Fi on a timer to shut off at 11:00 p.m., for example. Every stumble is a chance to strengthen the system. Days 61-100, this is consolidation. Choose a physical milestone. Hold a plank for 90 seconds or increase your push-up count. Try a full 24-hour no-screen social. Spend a day only with people, not pixels. At the end of day 100, review your log. From everything you experimented with, select 2 habits to make permanent. These become your keystones, the ones that keep your new life stable. By breaking the journey into these phases, you transform the impossible into something measurable, structured, and real. At this stage, I need to stress something that often gets lost when people are excited about a new tool. Never turn a spice into a religion. Clove is useful, but it is only a tool, an anchor, a reminder, a circuit breaker. It is not a shortcut, and it is not sacred. If you start treating it as a magic solution, you'll miss the real work, reshaping your sleep, your diet, your exercise, your environment, and your relationships. The second principle is to listen carefully to your body. If you notice stomach discomfort, heartburn, or irritation when using Clove, stop immediately. The human body speaks through symptoms, and ignoring those signs is never wise. What supports one person can be irritating to another. Respect your own biology. Third, never overlook mental health. If you experience persistent depression, severe anxiety, or compulsive behaviors that feel out of control, that is not a battle you should fight alone. Tools like Clove can help with urges, but they cannot treat deep emotional pain or psychiatric illness. Seeking a professional early, whether a counselor, therapist, or physician, is not weakness, it is wisdom. Finally, honor yourself by reframing what it means to preserve energy. This is not about suppressing desire or shaming sexuality. It's about management, directing your energy toward what builds you up instead of what drains you. True self-mastery doesn't come from denial, it comes from choice. When you understand that your drive is not something to crush, but something to channel, you open the door to healthier, more responsible relationships with yourself and with others. The lesson here is simple. Clove can remind you to pause, but it's your decisions, your awareness, and your compassion for yourself that will build a sustainable future. At the end of the day, it's not about willpower, it's about building a system that carries you when motivation runs low. Clove is just a nudge, a gentle reminder, not the source of transformation. The real victory comes from the basics: consistent sleep, balanced meals, regular movement, an environment that reduces cheap dopamine hits, and allies who keep you accountable. So here's your immediate action plan, simple, concrete, and doable. 1. Move your phone charger out of the bedroom tonight. Protect your sleep with one decisive step. 2. Block out 20 minutes tomorrow afternoon for exercise. Treat it as non-negotiable. 3. Keep 3 cloves in your pocket. Each time an urge rises, let one be your tab switch. A cue to breathe, reset, and choose differently. Do these 3 things, and in 30 days, take a picture of your eyes. Compare it to today's. You'll likely see more clarity, more steadiness, more life staring back at you. That's not magic, that's the power of a system working in your favor. If this video gave you insight or encouragement, support the channel with a like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment to share your experience. Your story might inspire another man on the same journey. At Men's Vitality After 60, we believe transformation is possible at any age, and it starts with small, consistent steps. I look forward to seeing your progress in the comments and in the next video.